Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
Hello there. Thanks for staying here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to get into News Flash. It's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, still phones, Papa Fear. This morning, we've got two major issues we're looking at, and also we look at the front pages of the various newspapers and what they're talking about. You can join us here on the show by WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp line is active. You can also join us on social media. We're streaming live on Facebook. You can drop your messages over there in real time, and we're going to be reading them here on the show. But before that, let's say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise, still phones, Papa Perfio. This morning we're giving you the chance to experience quality, and we'll talk about quality service. It's only has to be Franco Trading Enterprise, and our branches are always open, and you can just come in and grab some things for yourself. If you're looking forward to getting totally guaranteed quality home appliances, it has to be Franco Trading Enterprise. And we've got television sets for you. We're selling that. You can buy from us all the inches that you need. Once you get to Franco Trading Enterprise, you'll be able to have that. And also, if you're looking forward to changing your phone, if you're talking about Nokia, Samsung, iPhone, we have them over there. Don't forget that we're giving you 40% discount on any accessories that you buy from us at Franco Trading Enterprise. And those of you out there who want to monitor your homes and your offices when you're not around, just so you can see what's going on in your absence, Franco Trading Enterprise is the place you can get your CCTV cameras. They're of best of quality. Don't forget, you can monitor them anywhere at any time, and all you have to do is you just put the installation on your phone and you're good to go. That's Franco Trading Enterprise for you. Refrigerators, we've got them. You can also come there and buy some for yourself. Of course, it only has to be Franco Trading Enterprise. So now call us on the numbers you see on your screens, and once again, do not pick any number on social media to do business with us. You can just call the number that you see on your screens anytime that we have this conversation, and you can talk to us. Don't forget that the Franco Trading app is also available, and so you can download it on your phone, Google Play Store, and you're good to go. Now that you have Franco Trading Enterprise in your hands, our website is www.francotrading.com, and that's where you can also get all the information you need. All you have to do is you just go on the website, our branches, our details, our numbers, and everything that you need to make sure that you're dealing with us. You can get them over there. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones, Papa Fie, and we're grateful to them this morning for bringing us news flash here on Prime Morning. Now let's get into it. Before we get into the front pages of the newspapers, let me introduce my guest in the studio this morning. Joining us here on the show is Honorable Awontirima Tabuade, and he's the former Minister for Bills and North. And
MP, not Minister.
Hey, former MP. Oh,
reshuffle John.
The agenda must agenda.
Is it not too early for reshuffle?
No, but I mean, come on, deservedly, you should be in that position. I don't think it's far-fetched. I don't think that it's a big deal.
At any time, a president has his choice and as to who he can work with. And as time goes by, he'll begin to reshuffle to meet his vision and objectives for the country. So, Kim, you don't do the reshuffle.
I've done it already.
Maybe in the spirit. It's yet to manifest fiscally.
Fiscally,
yeah.
No, but it shouldn't be a problem. I'm sure that you well deserve that any position that comes with ministerial position. I mean, you've distinguished yourself very well in this space. I can count the last 2 years and as far back as 3 years what you've been able to do for the NDC, and I think that it's not a big deal if you're given any ministry. I would like to come to the vetting committee and sit behind you.
Yes,
it will.
It's good, but anyway, thank you for the compliment. Let me say good morning to our viewers and to yourself. Well, specially dressed for any occasion today, or just hosting us. If hosting us is like this, then if there's an occasion, we must be prepared to get a shocker.
I know.
Yeah, but it's good to always look good as Imam Minister, especially those of us who appear on big platforms like this,
Yeah.
we serve as a mirror to young people out there and what it takes and what it means to look good. Naturally, as a human being, that is how you should look.
Yeah.
Be it that you are even in the church or on public platform. It's good to always look good. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us this morning. I don't take it for granted. And we're going to go to the front page of the newspapers real quick. Then also we'll be joined by, this morning we'll be joined by Honorable Michael Kwesi Edu. He's also going to be joining us with us. And when we're able to raise Mr. Kwame Nkrumah to on the other side, for those of you who are on social media, I'm sure you may be aware. I guess that'll be joining us this morning. As and when we're able to get them, we'll introduce them. But let me go on the front page of the Daily Graphic, reporting on some issues. And this one says, government determined to win Galamsey war, says Minister Honorable Emmanuel Amakofibu has been captured on the front page with some security officers in the Ashanti region. Now, the Ashanti regional minister is also there. Dr. Frank Amwakwene is also captured on the front page as well. Now, away from that, port charges to be reduced, taxes, duties, levies targeted, minister says so. And Honorable Minister Bukari Nipke has also spoken on that. He's the Minister for Transport. And the AGI ready to partner government on 24-hour economy. That's also reported on the front page of the Daily Graphic this morning. And we will prioritize low-cost housing for workers, John Bauer says so. And that's the front page of the Daily Graphic. Now, Graphic Sports makes 40th anniversary with awards. That's also something you can read about. And the back page, First Bank Ghana supports Young Soldiers Accommodation Project. That's also the Daily Graphic this morning. The government committed to addressing power deficit. Minister says so. All right, so you can also read about that when you grab a copy of the Daily Graphic for today. Now, away from that, let's go on and grab the New Republic. The New Republic is also reporting on some issues, and this one it says Cecilia Da Paz luxury Trazaco mansion, and there's a picture of it on the front page of the New Republic. And it goes at play. MDC dumps 800 foreign doctors. That's also on the front page of the New Republic. And Agate grilled over SkyTrain scam. Board chairman accountant detained. NBI cracked down on corruption, flagged NPP officials. That's the New Republic for this morning. All right, so you can get a copy of that and read about it. Economic Times is here, and it says 2025 budget temporary freeze on public sector employment expected as Mahama instructs expenditure cut. I beg your pardon. Now, National Economic Dialogue to guide Ghana's medium-term post-IMF strategies, and Labour expects to disagree on public sector minimum wage increment rate. That's the Economic Times for today. The back page, it says COPEC tells government to pay close attention to fuel pricing amidst new pricing floor, and Professor Korte warns BOG over local bank license reinstatement. And post-IMF program, government economics build a consensus on a strict fiscal responsibility adherence. That's the Economy Times this morning. The overseer is here. And the big story over there says $1.7 billion needed to complete Agenda 111 hospitals. President John Dramani Mahama, and it's one of our major topics for today. We'll use technology to rake in more revenue. Pim says so. Dr. Godfred Maoli Tete applauds NDC group for rescinding protest against GPHA appointment. That's also captured over there. Finance Minister denies authorizing payments to Kennedy in Japan. And President Mahama to appoint NDC regional organizers as presidential staffers. And Lands Minister declares war on mining in forest and water bodies. And that conversation also came out yesterday as he went to the floor of Parliament to discuss the issue of Galamsey. And he believes that over 44 of our forest reserves have been taken over. Now 9 of them completely we cannot take them back. And that's, he also promised that the government is ready to do anything possible to ensure that we're able to get those lands back. All right. Now, the Ghanaian publisher is here this morning says that no data loss after ICOM's upgrade. Ghana Link says so. Ashanti MPs set record straight, and Mincom decentralizes operations to enhance oversight. Chieftaincy dispute rocks Gomua Mpota, and that's on the Winneba Road. The Ghanaian Times is here this morning, last paper for me, and it says, make Council of State active, VEEP charges members, and invest in technology to drive productivity. Professor Boateng, rainstorm hits Mampong, renders dozens homeless, and the Minerals Commission increases efforts to tackle Galamsey, boost mining oversight. That's the front page of the Ghanaian Times. The back page says 150 teachers in Volta regions trained in standardized curriculum, and CBG inaugurates new laboratory theater at Latte Health Center. That's also the Ghanaian Times today. Right, pretty much that will be the newspapers for this morning, so you can just grab a copy of them and read about them. But you can also send your messages to us here on the show. We're streaming live on Facebook, like I said. We've got two major issues that we're looking at. Our WhatsApp line is also active, so you can send your messages on any of these issues that we're looking at this morning. Agenda 111, Mahama says that we need $1.7 billion to be able to complete that. That's the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, when he met with the Christian Council, and he revealed that now Democracy Hub and CPP sue for removal of Kotoke's name from Ghana's international airports. Now, some other reports coming through indicates that the CPP has distanced itself from this action. Let me put it that way. But we'll take a look at that here on the show. Let me introduce my next guest that has joined us here already, and he's the MP for Furikrum constituency in the person of Honorable Michael. How are you doing?
KMJ, I'm doing great.
How's it going?
Very well.
Great stuff. I like your outfit, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Last time I think that Honorable liked my outfit.
Thank you very much.
I like his today too. But I want to believe you're in good spirit.
Yeah, I'm in very good spirit.
Great. So let's begin with the issue of Agenda 111. I know it's been back and forth. There has been a lot of conversations around that, even before we went into elections and all of that. Now, the president has opened up and said that over 90 of them, they are incomplete. Now, we would need 1.7 billion to be able to complete all of them. And I want to be sure, was the president right or correct with that statement?
KMJ, good morning to your viewers. It's quite interesting. Yesterday, I was listening to Dr. Insian Sari, who used to be in charge of the whole Agenda 111 project. And he gave the indication that the handing over notes that they submitted to the transition team indicated that they needed about 1.4 billion to complete the Agenda 111.
That's against the
1.7 billion. So he was asking where the president is getting the 1.7 billion from, because of all the analysis they had done, they needed about 1.4 billion. But be as it may, the Agenda 111 project came about after the COVID effect. Then we realized that we were lacking a lot of health infrastructure, because if you look at, let's say, the northern sector, from between Kumasi towards Kintampo to the north, the government of the day realized that there was no hospital within that jurisdiction, no major hospital within that jurisdiction. So in the unlikely event that a Ghanaian is even involved in an accident on that stretch of road, they will have to ferry the person all the way to Kumasi to Konfanochi.
And it's a road that actually experienced a lot of accidents.
And it's very busy.
Taking a lot of lives as well.
And not just that portion. There are a lot of places. If you go to the western region, the western north, there are distances, long distances that don't even have any major hospital on the stretches. So after they did the analysis, they realized that we needed close to about 99 hospitals in major districts across the country. And apart from those district hospitals, there were regions that needed regional hospitals. And there were regions that the regional hospitals that existed, where the infrastructure was deteriorated and needed upgrading. For instance, if we go to Takrady, the Fiankwanta Regional Hospital needed serious upgrade. And there was the need to also put up psychiatric hospitals because we were lacking psychiatric hospitals in the country. And the existing ones were not up to standard. So all together came up to the Agenda 111. Quite interestingly, before we left office, about 36 of those Agenda 111 projects were above 70%. And 36 of them were above 70%. I can confidently say that the past president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, commissioned 3 of those projects on the 5th of January. 3. And out of that 3, my constituency was part, and I was there.
It has all the basic facilities that are needed.
It has everything. It has the mortuary, it has standby generator, it has the water systems, it has the beds, it has everything. So what is left now is for the operationalization of those hospitals, those 3 hospitals. And even with the 36 that were above 70%, the government had finished procurement processes and everything for the supply of equipment for all the 36. Because, you know, when you are securing hospital equipment, it doesn't just take a day. You need to go through rigorous procurement processes. I remember during one of the inspections of the Agenda 111 hospital in my constituency, we went to the X-ray unit, and then Dr. Nsiasare and one other consultant intimated to the contractor that the wall should come with some certain measurements. I'm not a technical person, but they insisted that the measurement of the wall was not enough because there's a world standard for radiation for hospitals that they needed to meet. And that particular wall did not meet that standard. So the contractor should break that wall down. And this was at a point where the project was almost completed and about 95%, and they were about to hand over. So the contractor had to remove that section of the wall and redo everything again because they needed to do it to world-class standard. And I can say, on authority, based on the one that I have seen in my constituency, that it is world-class standard.
And it's operational?
No.
Okay.
You know, the hospital
because according to the president, only one.
No, 3.
Only one that is operational according to the president.
3 were commissioned. The president didn't say they are operational. He said they are finished.
Completed. Okay, completed, yeah.
So 3 were completed, which I know of.
Okay.
And then
as against the one the president
As against
said.
the one. But that notwithstanding, governments inherit assets and liabilities. When we came to power in 2017, we inherited a lot of hospitals, a lot of uncompleted hospitals, a lot. Some dated back as far as President Kufuor, the Aerojet projects. And even President John Mahama left a lot of hospitals that Nana Akufo-Addo came to complete. If you go to the UGMC, the phase 1 was completed, phase 2 was not done, Nana Akufo-Addo completed phase 2. There are a lot of, I have a list, if I should go through. When we came to government in 2017, hospitals that had been started, that we completed, there were the ones that we started and completed, Akontomra District Hospital, Bogoso, Elubo, Impohun, Insayem, Wasedu Nkwao, Sabronum, Chedie. If I should go on, these are about 37, including UGMC, that we came to meet and we completed. Modernization of Kibi District Hospital, modernization of Ebri Hospital, Bogatanga Regional Hospital Phase 3. These are all projects that are existing. There's the Kufuor Aerojet projects that we finished, including the Ga East Municipal Hospital. We came to complete it. Wa Regional Hospital was commissioned in 2019. Then so-called commissioned in 2021. Tepa District Hospital commissioned in 2021. Trifupraso District Hospital, Kolongo Dumasi District Hospital. There's 250-bed Ashanti Regional Hospital in Syria, which was ongoing and almost completed. I think that one is even completed. And a lot. Salaga District Hospital. Then there are hospitals that were started by Akufo-Addo that are yet to be completed, which we've handed over to them. There's a 100-bed Obuasi Trauma Hospital. There's the Obuasi Health Center, a 100-bed Enyinam Hospital, the 40-bed Enyinasi Hospital, And some of even these hospitals have been completed already. So governments inherit assets and liabilities. If you come and you inherit a liability, it's a continuous process. Within the 4 years, you might not even be able to complete all. Another government may come and continue. And most interestingly, this Agenda 11 project was a GOG funding. We didn't go for loans, apart from the 99 district hospitals and the 2 psychiatric hospitals. They were all being funded by the Ghana government. And there are other hospitals, regional hospitals, including the La Polyclinic, which became a topical issue, and everybody was going there. Now, if you pass there, you see construction going on. And those ones are turnkey projects. There are about 5 regional hospitals that are turnkey projects. And as we are speaking, there are financing documentation that the contractors have submitted to the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Health has access to these documentations, that once the new minister accepts and goes through, those hospitals will start.
We'll continue.
So we didn't say we were going to do Agenda 111 and there was going to be money sitting there. We were not going to wait to get money before we complete all that. We started, we were paying as and when monies are coming in. That is how governance is done. So I expect the president to hold the bull by the horns. I think we've passed the honeymoon period. He said that he needed a honeymoon period. You know, when governments come, there's a tendency to give excuses so as people will have the patience or give the necessary.
But is that what he has done so far?
Yes,
with the rate at which he's moving with some of the things that he has done, people appreciate the fact
what I'm seeing is he's trying to call everything the other government did black, so that people would then give him room and appreciate that, okay, things were that bad, so let's give you the room. For instance, when the issue of the DDEP came, our government since 2023, when the DDEP started, had been paying coupons every 6 months. Every 6 months, 6 billion was paid. And then you release statement and make it look like this is the first time you are paying. Meanwhile, the funds that you are paying, you've not submitted your budget to Parliament. The State of the Nation is on Thursday. After that, the budget will be read on the floor in the chamber. And then we'll debate on the budget and accept it. The budget has not yet come. Where are you getting funds to make all these statutory payments?
Okay. Give me a minute. Let me take the thoughts of Honorable Awonchim as well. I'll come back to you again. Honorable Awonchim.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Once again.
Good morning.
Nice meeting you.
Same here.
Looking good.
Thank you. You're also looking good.
Thank you too.
I'm learning from you.
Thank you. I think on the issue of the hospitals, like he put it, every government inherits both liability, assets, and even fiscal cash and so on. We understand that. And you see, we must put things in perspective. And we must say that this Agenda 111 issue that we've been talking about, I think we did a lot of copious talk about it before the elections, and a lot of challenges, banter here and there about the real. But you see, the real issue came when you hand over the assets that we know. And when you know as a leader, it's incumbent on you to tell the people who entrusted their power to you about the real state of the nation that you inherited.
So it's not about asking for a honeymoon
it's
or
not,
using a certain way to let the people understand.
You must tell them so that they will appreciate where you are beginning and where you are going. Handing over notes can be given to you, but you see, you begin to get the reality when you take over and juxtapose the notes against what you've been told that is in the notes. These things must be clear. I can hand over to him. He will accept it because there's even no time for you to be able to scrutinize and do analytical examination of what has been handed over to you. It is afterwards that you'll be able to tell the people of this country what you inherited, the actuals on the ground, and what stage they are. Like he put this on Thursday, the president will deliver a State of Nation address. We'll know the exact issues that are on the ground. When you juxtapose that with the handing over notes, the budget will follow. We'll get the real state of the economy. And I can assure people who are not aware that it's not going to be easy. A lot of things are going to be unveiled that will shock the people of this country. The Agenda 111, they were, first of all, I think it was not thought through. That is my thinking, because, look, the Agenda 111 needs so much money. Even what is left, what is left to be completed, you need 1.7 billion, as told by President John Dramani Mahama. You would need other funds. And when you are pushing those funds into other areas of the economy will suffer. Education will suffer. Other areas that need that an amount of money to will suffer. So we have to be careful. The issue of whether it is one that was complete. You know, a hospital, when you hand over a hospital, you are handing over a functional hospital. Hospitals are not like classrooms. So when you hand over a hospital, it is prepared to operate and it's functional. It's not just the building that is there. So I can, and this statement was made when the religious people visited him and so on. And I don't think that the president would either over-exaggerate or underestimate, because these days, when you do that, your credibility will be at stake. Your credibility, where people have copious information, they can always go do checks about it. Even when you look at your media houses, they do checks about it and so on. And the COVID that came, in fact, initially I think it was Agenda 88, and later it was increased to Agenda 111. And that is why we said that it was not properly thought. Look, COVID alone gave the government $6 billion. And this $6 billion, when you look at it, and if the monies were supposed to be put into the Agenda 111, even $2 billion, even $1 billion, would have gotten to a well better state that we have as at now. But the money was not properly used in accordance with even the auditors, or Audit General, the special audit that was conducted on the use of the money. As at the time, we were told that government used $12 billion for the COVID challenges and so on. And then we asked, what are the, if the total amount was about 20 billion, what of the 8 billion, what was it used for? So I believe that if these monies were genuinely put into the construction of the Agenda 111 as a measure to mitigate the hospital shortages along the areas that he mentioned and even across the country, would have had a bigger number, a better functional hospital sector, and then wouldn't have been talking on whether it is one or some have been 70% completed and so on. No one is against the construction of infrastructure, and for that matter, the health and educational structure and so on. Look at even areas like the La General Hospital. It took a lot of banter, go and come, and so there was no dedicated funding. And if government projects are based on GOG, the tendency for most of the projects that are dotted across this country that are uncompleted are mostly GOG projects. And these, the funding, when it even comes from your international partners and so on, you are required to do what we call counterpart funding. So what you do is that if the project is $100 million, you may be required to pay either $10 or $50 million. That the government should fund that aspect. So the donor community would be able to pay the over 80 billion, the over 80 million. And when they do it, it is required at a certain stage of the project, you should make your funding available. That is why even foreign funded projects sometimes are stalled. They are stalled because government is not able to fulfill its counterpart funding agreement and so on, even though smaller as it is. You see, and these are fiscal projects. They are fiscal projects that we can easily identify them. Even independent stations like you can go around to see the structures and identify whether it is one functional hospital or even at the various stages of completion and so on, we'll be able to know. These are issues that we can easily know how many of these structures have been handed over, completed at the various stages of completion and so on. My brother talked about Eurogel. You see, these Eurogel projects, I've talked about it. When Kufuor was leaving office, 2018, Kufuor signed the Eurogel project in October. Even lands for some of the projects were not acquired. There was no 1 cedi from Ghana government because that is not the terms of the Eurogel project. The Eurogel project is undertaken by an Egyptian financial consultant and so on. Like he mentioned, it's called turnkey. The turn, you turn the key and enter. What it means is that the project will be completed. Then What you need to do is just go and turn your key and enter. That's why it is called turn key. So all other fundings that were done by the NDC government, even though it was signed by Kufuor. At the time Kufuor signed, it was in October 2008. And as at that time, no one single structure was put up. No funding, because 10 key projects, you don't need to do the funding. The contractor does the funding, then you pay with the support of government. So all the projects under it, and look, even the 10 key projects, as we talked this morning, when John Mahama completed, some of them have not been, they needed to pull lights, just mere lights, into the project. They were not
by
able
the NPP?
By the NPP under the Nanado administration. Some of them were just mere, the one in Kumasi, is it a fire? It was just the connection of light. And the president at one of the programs told Napo was the energy to connect the light to it. They have not been able to do it. Look at when they were rushing to do it. They were locked at Asante talked about it and so on, that they should finalize it and so on. So all the Eurojust projects that Kufuor signed, some of them had no lands to build on. It was the NDC government that did everything up to today. You remember the last one that the contractor sent them to court, and that wasn't the agreement? You understand? Because it wasn't completed completely, and the Nanado went to what do you call it, to commission them. And you see,
okay, you just finished.
And I think that this government, if they really wanted to do the project, they had so much money that they could have done the project. Even the amount of money they would put in the cathedral could have completed most of these projects. Look, this government had a total revenue of 1.1 trillion. That I think that...
But they had other projects that they were focusing on.
Yes, but even other projects where? You see, you just suppose the quantum of revenue that came, including the $30 billion they borrowed across the country. Look, I can name them. How much we owe our development partners and so on. How much we owe the Chinese and so on and so on. If these monies were put into, into the projects, wouldn't have even been talking about whether it's left with one or two or three.
But Honorable, they also boasted of some completion of roads that they have injected monies into.
Yeah, but you saw the roads issue came up when Honorable Abuja was before the vetting committee. He mentioned just the number of roads that they've done, the kilometers of road they've done, and so you know how much the road sector owns so much billions, including even the cocoa sector and so on. So for me, I think that the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had so much money, they had a goodwill, and they were able to borrow enough that if we had pumped this money into roads and other structures, we would have been better off. Look, I keep citing one example, KMJ and Honorable. Look, have you seen the Pokwase interchange? Yeah. The Pokwase interchange, the cost of the Pokwase interchange is less than $100 million. In fact, it's $94 million. As at that time, the ADF, the funding was about 80-something. Government was to add $9 billion to it. So $1 billion could have done multiples of such projects across this country. Look at how fantastic the Pokwase interchange is. If it is just about 100 million.
It still has some challenges.
You understand? But we would have gotten to...
I'm not sure how we'll be able to cause that.
The challenges were that when they came, they said that they hadn't added a city. Is that not what they said? Both President and Dr. Bowman said they did not add a city to it, but they increased it from a 3-tier to a 4-tier. The cost of the 4-tier was for the expansion of the road from Pokwase to the Sawam area to continue. That was the amount of money they used to make the 4th tier to create an impression that the John Dramani Mahama was corruptible in terms of the award, the sourcing of the funding, and that's why they said that we didn't add a penny, but we increased it to a 4th tier. It's like, I am building a 3rd bedroom for you at 100,000. They come and say, you see, Tim was building the bedroom at 100,000 Ghana cedis, 3-bedroom. When I came, I've not added a cedi, but I've expanded it to a 4-bedroom. What are you impugning on me? You are impugning that I was corruptible in terms of the cost of the project and so on. So I feel that this the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo would need not to be talking about infrastructure at all. In fact, if infrastructure was one of the major projects that they wanted to embark on, they would have done a lot. And in fact, that would have even sustained them in their campaigns and so on. As at that time, look, when they came, look at the hospital, the University of Ghana Hospital.
Yeah, EGMC.
Look at the Rich Hospital, of which the two hospitals. I was part of the funding because I was then a member of the health committee.
Okay.
And I keep saying the funding came from Israel, a bank called Hapolin. And we went to Israel, and even the consultant and everybody, we inspected it and so on. So if you borrow and you inject the money into projects that can pay themselves off, when you look at the internal revenue that we get from the University of Ghana, it's millions of cedis. Millions, you will not believe it. You understand? So the Agenda 111 is good, but we must tell the people, we must tell them the true nature of the project. We must be able to tell the people that this is what we inherited. These are the stages. We need $1.7 billion to be able to do that. It means a lot of expenditure must be cut. And I'm happy that the president has instructed us, has given a blank check to the Minister for Finance to cut most expenditure away, and then we'll concentrate on deliverables so that we'll be able, at the end of the day, to tell the people of this country, this is what we made, this is what we've taken the country up to, and so on. So I think that we do not need to battle as to whether it was one that is going. It can be fiscally inspected. It can be done. The Parliamentary Committee on Health can go to these stages and do independent investigation. The Minister of Health, that is there now, including agencies, and the contractors are there. They can tell us where they finish and even their payment systems and so on, so that we'll move forward from this issue of whether you did what and what you did not do. The people of this country handed over power to us to deliver for them. And we have to deliver. We have to reset this country. We are not resetting just in the hospital sector. Almost every sector will be reset. That is what the people of this country, but before you reset, you must tell them about the stage in which you came and met those projects and your financial status to be able to do that. So that when you are cutting the expenditure and asking people to tighten their belt, and the people see that you are tightening their belts and the money is being plowed into infrastructure and other needs of the country, the people would give you thumbs up. So for me, I think that at the end of the day, the president will give the State of Nation address on Thursday, just 2 days from now. It will follow by the budget on the 11th. We'll be able to see the real state of the economy and the state that they left for us.
Okay. I'll get some messages, but Honorable, you want to respond to anything? KMG, because I'm also looking forward to what will happen on Thursday, if we're going to still have the repetition of what the president has already said in the State of the Nation address on Thursday.
I'm sure some of the issues will pop up in the State of the Nation address. KMG, most importantly, my honorable member mentioned that the Pokwasi interchange, there was an issue, and the whole redesign and everything, it wasn't so, and it was what existed that we made it look like
a strategy to make it look like they didn't really do any good job on that.
The Pokwasi interchange was about $94 million.
Yes.
I think the counterpart funding was about $11 million, and then the project was about $83 million. It was redesigned to add another tier, a fourth tier.
The fourth tier that
at no cost. At no cost. It wasn't.
The government didn't have to pay for that.
The Ofanko, so the Pokwasi interchange was just the interchange, and the Rose Lincoln, Awoshi, and then Accra.
The one to Kotinya and all that.
Yeah, those ones. So they added another tier because the initial design, there were some traffic lights in it, and they needed to remove the traffic lights
at the interchange.
At the interchange, so that traffic would flow. So they added an extra design at no cost. It didn't change. It didn't add any cost to us. The Ofanko in Sawam Road is a different project. It's a different project that.
So that wasn't the fourth tier. That wasn't the extension that we had.
No. The Ofanko in Sawam was a different project that the government had to look for funding, and it's being constructed by Marapuma enterprise.
Is that the reason it's been stalled for a while? The work on that
recently,
stretch
the engineers, the consultants on the road came out that there are a lot of litigations. You know, there were buildings.
They broke down some buildings.
And I'm informed that when President Kufuor first constructed that road, the dual carriage, some of the buildings were given compensations. And now they came back into the roads, they reconstructed the buildings when they realized they were not going to be affected. And now there's litigation going on. So that has stalled some part of the
progress
project.
of it.
Because I learned that more than 30 cases on just that project alone.
And we're not able to settle all these cases.
That's the issue. I think,
you know,
people put injunctions and it goes to courts and so on. So the Attorney General is trying, with the contractor, they are trying to resolve all these issues so that the project can continue. Because the contractor was moving at a very fast pace.
Because it's really a major concern. I just came back from there just this weekend.
The traffic situation there.
So you drive like you do a 3-hour journey. It's crazy. You do a 3-hour journey only to get to that place, and you spend like 3 hours, another 3 hours, 4 hours in traffic. It doesn't make sense at all.
But you know, back to the main issue.
Yeah.
One of the issues that the president raised was that he has the missions to support the hospitals. They should possibly take over the construction of some of these hospitals and manage it. The question I ask myself is, does the missions have the capacity? Because we've gone past the days where the missions used to get their inflows from external sources. Today, almost all the missions, they use internally generated funds.
But it's believed they manage some of these places very well.
They manage,
and that gives you the assurance.
So the issue of management is something that maybe I believe that after we have completed these hospitals, then we sit down with them and say, okay, let's look at the best management available and let them take over these hospitals. Because in any case, all the mission hospitals, the workers in these mission hospitals, they are being paid by government. The nurses and doctors in most of these mission hospitals are paid by government. So at the end of the day, government will still have the responsibility towards these hospitals. So I believe that government should look for funding. There are avenues where the government can look for funding. Today I sit down and I ponder is the fact that when our brothers are in power, they try to justify every issue about cost and funding, to the extent that when they were in power between 2012 to 2016, they had to justify the reasons why they were cancelling all the nurses' allowance, teachers' allowance, everything. We came, we paid all those allowances, even paid PSHS, and we still did infrastructure. And we didn't complain, and we even continued some of the projects, to the extent that one of the projects that were even started by President Kufuor, the affordable housing, we had to come and complete it to operationalize it, for people to stay in. If you come to my constituency, Asokwe Mampong, there's an affordable housing project there. And that
under
project,
the MPP.
Under the MPP, started by President Kufuor. For 8 years, it was abandoned. We came and we have operationalized it. People are living there now. And the same with the Boteman one. People are living there now. So I believe that we've gotten to the point in our governance that we don't have to complain, because at the end of the day, we are going to do new projects. I believe the new government is going to do new projects. And they will not, John Mahama has just 4-year tenure. And he will not be able to complete everything. Definitely somebody else will come. So when a new person comes, should the person start to wail and say that you did something wrong and that these projects that you started, they were meaningless or they are not functional, so we should throw them away or what? I believe the government should just hold the bull by the horns. Governance is a process. As time goes on, they will be able to find money here and there. When they came within the short period, they were able to push monies through and pay the DDAP, the 6 billion. If there was no money, they wouldn't have been able to do it. And the same way, there are payments.
Isn't that because they're trying to cut some costs at other places to be able to?
No, at the end of the day,
you reduce, other things. So
you reduce ministers from 84 to 60 something. Those ministries, just 2 months, all the agencies are still working. It's just the ministers that you reduce. Even if you put the minister's salary,
does it not add up to something?
It won't pay 1 million. It will even add up to 1 million. But quite interestingly, I believe we are progressing as a
So you totally disagree with the missions getting involved in terms of funding for these hospitals?
With the missions,
you totally disagree with that? Because I also believe that some of them have been able to raise money to even with education.
It's good if they come in to support. But $1.4 billion.
You think that the missions in Ghana cannot do that? But some of them have raised some educational buildings, universities and all of that.
Talk to the banks.
Yeah. Some of them have universities that are operating even now.
KMG, talk to the banks and ask them if they will be able to raise $1.4 million at a go. It is not easy raising $1 billion in this country. That is why, at a point, for a long time, even Cocoa Board was going for international financing to buy their cocoa, the cocoa syndication. Because if you put banks together, even the interest rates will be too much. The missions are doing well, but I don't believe they'll be able to raise $1.4 billion to finish the project. Government,
but they can support with some percentage.
Yesterday, I was listening to the Deputy Finance Minister's
vetting. Okay.
And when he was asked, he had his own issues at the vetting, a lot of issues at that one. When we go to the floor of Parliament and we discuss. But when he was asked how he was going to support his minister to block the revenue loopholes and increase revenue, there was one important thing that he said, and it's something that I've come across and one of our former government appointees who had even elaborated same to me. The VAT lottery.
Okay.
It's been done in other countries. And is if we decide to take a look there, it's a very significant area that you can...
Revenue stream that we can...
I was interested in those things, and I think the government should look at ways that they will get revenue, rather than these early stages complaining. Ghanaians have gotten to the point where we don't like.
And because most of these taxes will be going off, will be going off as well. How to make more revenue? There's very important.
Even in our manifesto, like talked about abandoned projects. We talked about the fact that we're going to take on all the abandoned projects, reevaluate them, and ensure that they are complete. In fact, that is what the people of the country want. They will not want to see across the country, the length and breadth of this country, dotted and completed government projects, that some of them are even standing over 4 or 5 decades, 50 years, 20 years, 30 years, because of our partisan issue.
I think one of the issues that the Constitution review should be looking at.
So my brother King said that...
Yeah, is this issue about continuation.
And you know, when we abandon them like that for political expediency, what happens is that the cost goes up. At the
time you come back and say you want to do it, it's already increased.
So, and I think that was one of the major things we saw when we're doing our campaign, that we're going to ensure that all abandoned projects are brought on, we reevaluate them and continue. Like I said, we have to look for the money. The people of this country want resource. Exactly. They do not want complaint. But you see, some of the taxes that also suppresses the people's well-being, some of the taxes that do subjugate the people's, even their briefing and their businesses, must be rationalized and see how you can give respite to the people of this country, because governance is about the people.
But you also understand that whilst you're doing that, you're losing some monies that...
No, that is why you have to rationalize them and look at where you can tax and where there are some unnecessary expenditure that you may have to expunge from the system. And then you close, for instance, the DDEP. We are setting up a special account called the Sinking Fund to be able to be putting money there so that the next time we are paying, it will not be a much drain on the scarce resource alone. Again, you realize that every month, government would have to borrow from the treasury bills to be able to pay salaries and emoluments. How long can we continue to do that? There must be innovative ways and skillful ways of mobilizing revenue that will not impact negatively on businesses, on the people's income. Already people are reeling under the hard economic
but you agree that borrowing from the treasury bills is not really bad. It's a financial system that
if you're able to manage the finance
well. But how did we get there? Because we're not doing
that. Not trickle in at a
I agree.
They come in bits.
Yeah.
So you borrow from the treasury bills, and as your taxes come in, you use it to settle.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it boils down to managing it well.
Yes.
Managing it well.
Yeah.
I was reading on one of your papers. I think you read this one about the Minister of Transport saying that levies and taxes at the port.
Honorable,
you see, when you do that, you allow the volumes of trade to come in, and as long as the trade volumes increases, even if the taxes are little, it would increase much more revenue than when you put in more taxes and levies and the trade volumes decreases. It means you must use a longer period to be able to mobilize revenue. And the ports are a good place for us to make so much income. You know, because of that, most businesses move to Côte d'Ivoire and other areas and so. Let's see how, and I know it's going to come to Parliament for debate, the budget will be ready. They will look at the taxes. The Minister for Finance will be indicating where the taxes will be removed, what is bringing it to cover the hole that has been created as a result of the removal of the taxes. They are on the floor, they'll debate it, we'll look at it, and we'll pick it from that place. At the end of the day, the people of this country want everything to be done to their satisfaction. In fact, that's why we change government. We change government because we feel that the previous government did not live up to its promises or its covenant with the people. So they break away and look for a new government. So we would ensure that prudence is one of the issues. The money is properly invested, and that investment must yield revenue and pay itself for. This is what we call smart borrowing and so on and so on. So we should not repeat the mistakes of the previous government. We should be able to do prudence to our expenditure and so on.
Very well. Let me try and engage our viewers a bit, and then we'll come back to continue our conversation in studio. Now, this one says, good morning, KMJ. My only advice to the NDC and President Mahama is they should get to work. They made Ghanaians to understand that President Akufo-Addo was a wicked man and destroyed our dear nation. And that John Mahama is the only Messiah sent from above who can make life so simple for every Ghanaian. They should simply stop the rantings and do the magic they promised Ghanaians. Amino in Nsawam sent that. Let me go to this one over here. And it says, good morning, KMJ. Please kindly ask the NDC panel that what they did to the Buankra in land ports, which was started under President Kufuor. It took an Nana government to continue. They had started again making noise on Agenda 111, and that's from Kwaku Baku Jr. in Manso Mim. I'm not sure if Honorable knows about that. Yeah, he will respond to that. Now, this one says, good morning, KFG. The NDC is still in the campaign mode. The government should move out of the campaign mode. Ghanaians voted massively for them because they were made to believe they were the best managers of the economy. The government should go into action and stop the numerous lamentations, as we are all aware of the state of the economy before they took over. They were aware of the Ghanaian situation even before running for the presidency. So the nagging and complaints must be stopped. The lamentations are becoming far too many. They should go into action by implementing their strategies. If I could advise the Agenda 111 project, it must not be halted for political expedience. It is one of the best projects initiated in the country for a very long time. Thanks. I think it's Honorable just said that it's going to be continued. So we're hoping that we're able to achieve that. Now, good morning, Joy Prime. NDC government should stop complaining. We voted them to reduce one ball of kinky to one Ghana cedis and $1 to 7 cedis. One job, 3 people. 1 liter of fuel to 9 Ghana cedis from. And that's from Mohammed Ibrahim. I'm telling you, that's on their own quotations.
That is what was
Let me go to this one over here. Okay, I think I've not read that from K. Frimpong. All right, it says, good morning, KMJ. I've heard the president pass comments about Agenda 111 on many occasions, and it doesn't seem to believe in the project. During transition, Dr. Mane Boama said we'll all need $1.4 billion to complete the Agenda 111. After transition, Ofosukwachi also came out to say we will need $1.4 billion to complete, where from the $1.7 billion the president is talking about now. The president comments about Agenda 111 is problematic. He's of the view that we don't need such number of hospitals. What the president is failing to appreciate is that COVID exposed how bad our health system is. Again, it's sad that we don't have district hospitals across the nation, not health centers. If we'll take even $5 billion to build reboot health system for our nation. Why not health? Health is something we cannot do your usual politics with. The government should complete the project because it will serve both NPP, NDC, and Ghanaians. Cape from Pong sent in that one. Let me go to this one over here, and it says, good morning. It's very sad that our country has lost. We are now in a difficult situation because now almost everybody is lying. The worst is our politicians. They boast of what they haven't done. They praise themselves. How do they think of us? Oh, they think we are fools. How can you pay a bribe before you get a job? This is evil. But on Sunday, we'll go to church for what? Hypocrisy. All right, that's your opinion on that. Now, good morning, KMJ and partners. Agenda 111 wasn't done well. Let's not let the government sweep it under the rug. This program can help Ghana. I know JM will do what's right for our country. This is Solomon from Bolga. Let me go to Alaji Hamza in Pifam. It says, good morning, my brother. According to the NPP man, the NDC always try to justify a lot of things when they come to power. Please ask him for me. What happened to those cocoa roads when they came to power in 2016? All of the roads were stopped, and according to them, they were going to audit all projects and submit the report to the public to see. And we, as we speak, up to now, nothing has been found and no report has been submitted. My brother, you remember what happened to the Kaswa interchange and the Rich Hospital? According to Nanado, the prices of the projects were inflated, and he took one of his MPs to tell him that he was wrong. Just take a look at the COVID funds that came into this country. They shared the monies to their party functionaries for campaign. They should give us a break. Okay. This one over here says that, good morning, Joy Prime. A plea to our president. Please, sir, kindly absorb all the volunteers in the birth and death registry. We do the most work, but we are never absorbed after several attempts applying. Please, sir, we're suffering. Help us. Every year, new people are being posted, but no one is caring about us. Please come through for us. And that's Sarah from Ada. Okay.
That from where the registry.
Yeah, birth and death. Yeah.
And these volunteers, they really do a lot. Sometimes they even work more than the work, the real employees.
Yeah.
Not just the registry, but even across some sectors where you have the volunteers.
Yeah.
They work harder than.
In the hope that.
Exactly. Yeah. Even if you see them, some of them are in Senate and all that, they work so hard. Yeah. And if there's chance, you should rather absorb them because they have gained experience
over time.
Then you go and bring a new one. I think
it's unfair.
What most of them are put on either contracts or these positions, and then with time they regularize them. That's what I know normally happens with the public sector.
Yeah. When even at Cocoa Board, they have them like that, but. Normally, they will be there and they will see new people coming in, and they've been on that contract.
So they have different types.
Yeah.
There's those who are doing spraying. They come in and go. They are not.
No. For those ones, no.
And then they have staff that are contracts within. Normally after national service, when after the national service, it takes about a month or so before new national service personnel come. And when the new national service personnel come, it takes about 3 months before they understand the work. So what they normally do is they will give the outgoing batches a period of contract, sometimes 3 to 6 months, and then they work within that period. And when the new batch comes and your contract ends, at least you gain some experience, then they let you go. So most of these institutions have their own policies and ways they do that.
But I think that's also another major concern. That they have to look at.
The heads should look at it from a very humane perspective and try to.
For me, I think it's unfair. I mean, if you look at
I think so.
But normally, you also have to understand that they work with. They look at their budget within the period.
If they'll be able to absorb those.
That's what I'm saying. That when there is a chance, don't bring a new fellow. When they
rather put in the one that has gained that experience.
Those who have gained the experience there.
Good morning, KMJ. What is the NDC man talking about? An abandoned project? Have they forgotten about the NIA, Buankra in Landport, Komfuanoche Maternity Ward, Crowfrom Market? All these projects were abandoned And that's from Kokubaku Jr. in Mount. So let me go to this one over here. It says, good morning, sir. Agenda 111 is another scam to create a loot and loot our resources. How can you boast of building hospitals without equipment? After scamming us with Agenda 111, they travel abroad for medical care while we die of poor health care in Ghana. MPP must use their press conferences to apologize for their iniquities against our pensioners if they want us to forgive them or forget about coming to power to do what they do best, scam and plunder the nation. MPP never again. Powerfully in UG sent that. Let me go to Ganu in Savannah, and it says that we won't allow President Mahama to mislead Ghanaians on Agenda 111 project. We are going to set the record straight. As of January 6, 2025, when we left office, 101 of the project had already started. 2 regional psychiatric hospitals and 99 district or municipal hospitals. About more than 36 of them were over 70% complete. 3 of the hospitals were commissioned on the 5th of December 2024 by the NPP government. There are no equipment in there, but I know that there are beds and other equipment in there. The supply for those that are more than 70% complete have their equipment procured, and when they are ready, they'll be equipped. Okay.
Exactly so.
Yeah. I don't know how the NDC as it stands right now, and I think it's something that I want to actually find out from Honorable. How do we move from, and like Honorable, you mentioned that some of these projects you came and you met them, you completed them, and I want to find out, is it the same case that we're going to be looking at this project? I mean, this has been major concern from people about why we have projects that especially the hospitals.
But I told you that it's something that we captured in our manifesto. And even during our campaign, we were emphatic on it. But see, people are talking as if the NDC has been in power for more than a year. But just barely a month, and we are in the second month, going next month.
And maybe it's because it's a major concern, and you know how this.
Second month, but you are making a lot of complaints.
No.
And you know how this Agenda 111 came about. It was because COVID gave reason to do this.
It is not about
one of the major issues that
complaints.
we have to be looking at.
It is not about you've taken over governance. You have to tell the people what is there. The people put you there. You cannot be working in silence, because when you say it, some people say you are complaining. No. Who does that?
Maybe they want to say the silence come with action.
Yes, but that is what the man said he's working. That's what the President, the Excellency, is working on it. We are going to present our budget by 2 weeks from now. And in the budget, you'll see monies allocated to projects and so on. We talked about it. We've taken over an economy that we need to mobilize a lot of resources to be able to take on even uncompleted projects alone. Like he said, we may not even be able to finish them. Even though there might be some critical new ones that we will be putting up, the uncompleted projects are huge. If the hospital alone is estimated to take 1.7 or 1, whatever it is.
The 300 is what your government has
added. No, you can't, you see.
That's what another person meant.
You can't.
As far as I'm concerned, from Dr. Nsiasari, they left 1.4 billion.
Dr. Nsiasari has said a lot of things that have not come to be true.
No,
but I don't even want to go there. That's what I'm telling you that.
Fact that they left.
That is what I'm telling you, that the budget will show.
To complete. The
you are in Parliament.
What you have added.
No. We are not like you who came in the Ameri deal, you added $800 million dollars. But what I'm saying is that we have to look for money. We have to cut frivolous expenditure. We must make sure the money is still tailored towards the projects that the people can benefit from. But people are already, I can see the texter making us look as who have been in power for more than a year. We're just a month old in power. And we are putting the things in order. You haven't yet presented your budget. We haven't seen the State of Nation address. It will be presented to Parliament, to the people of this country. We'll see what is in the kitty.
You're a month old, but then your government has even borrowed more than 20 billion within the 2 months.
Yes, they borrow, yes.
So you cannot say, you started borrowing. Within 2 months, you borrowed about 20 billion cedis. And you are saying you're a month old, so we should leave you.
Because
you started spending.
We've started spending because there was a budget to spend.
You have to be accountable.
No. You see, there's a budget that you left for us to spend. And that budget is what we are borrowing from.
We borrowed 20 billion already.
It's from the budget. But the budget you gave us, you don't want, we should hold it. We have to spend.
So the borrowing...
You get it, Honorable.
The borrowing has started.
It is, yes, but...
20 billion.
No. You see, we are doing that for the people of this country. We are yet to present our own budget.
Yeah.
But for the first quarter, you presented a budget that enables us to what? To borrow or to mobilize funding for that. Salaries have been paid. The 2-month salary that we took over, it has been paid. It's from those borrowings and so on. There were emergency issues, buying crude and other emergency issues that we had to do. You need to have money. Like you have to borrow ahead, pay. Then when you mobilize the revenue, you pay them off. Look at the terms with which that borrowing has been done. It's brought to Parliament. You are a member of Parliament.
It's interesting today you mentioned emergency issues. When a new government comes, or any government, there's something called a contingent liability. Liabilities that are no fault of yours. They come in as and when you are going through the governance process. For instance, when we came, there were liabilities from the IPPs that we are secured, the power agreements. And every year, we were paying about $1 billion from 2017. Every year. I have the figures here. In 2019, we paid about...
You mean that you have paid $8 billion?
No, yes.
No. You know the issue?
In the energy sector, every year, we were paying $1 billion from the take-or-pay agreements. And apart from that, there was the energy sector legacy debts that we were paying from 2017 to 2024. In total, we paid about 10 billion cedis. Then we have the COVID. I heard my honorable member saying COVID, we paid about $12 billion. Today, he's missing billions and millions a lot. But then,
the total amount we had was $6 billion.
The 6 billion is even debatable. Because if you look at COVID expenditure, direct COVID-19 expenditure, which was 2020-2021, in 2020, the government spent about 8 billion cedis, the direct expenditure, and 2021, 2.2 billion cedis. That comes to about 10 billion cedis.
So where is the balance?
No, so you cannot say we
No, what I'm saying is that the COVID...
a lot of information around.
No,
but then these are verifiable facts.
Honorable, these are facts.
These are contingent liabilities. And as they've come, contingent liabilities...
It's the same process they're also going through right now. But it has to be accounted for, by the way.
We've gotten to the point where I feel we shouldn't just spoil the broad. You come to power and then you want to attach debt to everything just to get good faith.
Is that not the case?
But that's become what we are doing as politicians. We come and then we attach.
Is that not what is on the grounds? Everybody can attest to the kind of issues, economy that was left behind.
Some of the issues before COVID, we knew the economy. We knew where our country how our country was growing, the inflation rates. We knew the interest rates. We knew our GDP per capita and so on. And after COVID, we knew. And from 2023, 2024, we know how things have improved. And that's why IMF, when President Nana Akufo-Addo was leaving, the IMF patted his back and said, no, you did well, because amidst the challenges. And look at all the countries, all the governments that went through COVID. Almost all those governments lost their seats. Almost all the governments that went through COVID lost their seats. So
this is a joy.
We went through a challenging period that they didn't go through. And now we've been able to weather the storm.
But you'd also agree, Honorable, you'd also agree with me
this
that
is a joy news.
As things are stabilizing at KMG, I believe that if we had won power, you will not be sitting here complaining about Agenda 111. We will be continuing the projects. And I'm sure this year, the media yourself, you'll be asking, apart from the 3, how many have you added?
But majority of the people knew about what you have done with Agenda 111. And yet they voted against you.
You know, before the election, even my own constituency, the NDC in my constituency, were going around saying, it's a lie, the project does not exist. I went a step to go to the site to do videos posted on my Facebook. After I had gone there myself, done videos posted on my Facebook, one of the NDC executives had the guts to come on my Facebook and say it's a lie. I was shocked to the bone. They ran a campaign.
Was it not verifiable by the people?
A lot of things were verifiable.
Why would they want to believe a lie and deny the truth?
We went through an election where a lot of lies were peddled around. Even Agenda 111, you never
and those lies were able to overcome the truth?
Yes.
When you know your truth was the truth?
You never heard that people were out there saying that Agenda 111 does not exist.
No, that I did. But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. That why would the lies overpower the truth? When the people in your constituency can verify the things that you have done, or in other constituencies can verify the things that have been done.
One thing I learned with our politics, when you pick a constituency, today you are working in Kokomlemle, you might not even go to Osu if you don't need anything there. So people realize that, okay, you've put Agenda 111 in Kokobin, for Rikrum. There's somebody living at Amaga who doesn't go to Kokobin. If he doesn't need anything there. There's somebody living at Angumaso Odium who doesn't go to Kokobin. So once you have not publicized it, they go out and say, it's a lie, there's nothing there. And these things were going on all over. I was shocked to the bone when in my own constituency, they were able to even hold a press conference and say, the Agenda 111 does not exist.
I'm sure look at constituency.
Came here. This is a joy news item. 13 February 2025. Lack of fiscal discipline by the World Bank who plundered Ghana into full-fledged crisis in 2020. That's the World Bank's report.
But every 4 years, the World Bank will talk about fiscal discipline. You see,
my brother,
there are
you've talked so
events
much.
that will happen that you have to spend money and you go outside your budget.
I'm only countering what you are saying by saying that.
These are financial terms.
They are financial. So what tells you what them to you?
Pastor Flora Jr. says that
what tells you what
when it comes to infrastructure development,
when emergency
use what
outside your budget. When emergency
that's the language. And you see,
exactly.
And today my brother is saying that we're peddling falsehood. I agree. You remember when we did our green book? They told us that we're all Photoshop.
But we're non-existent. Let's not go through green book.
Please.
You agree with me? Green book, when we go inside there.
Look, that was why Samson Lada brought Ayagba said he should open in one page and tell him which of these projects doesn't exist.
There were a lot of non-existent projects.
No, I'm saying that your communications director was put on.
On next page, I'll bring the agreement.
On Samson Lada, I quoted him. He brought Ayagba that he should open one page
but when
and
you put
tell
someone
me
to the spot like that, it's just like what happened to the Ashanti regional minister when he was put on the spot to name monumental projects. I had been with him where he had mentioned a lot of projects.
No. If you don't, because you are put on the spot, what do you say? You normally say that, look, because I'm on the spot.
I had information on some of the projects that were non-existent in the Green Book. But even today, if you ask me, I will not.
There's no one project. Look, since then, how many years now that he has not returned? No, since how many years now he has not returned to the bank because I was put on the spot.
I will provide.
I was put on the spot. I couldn't, but I've gone to do my checks, and my checks showed that this and that was not there. He has not yet proved so many years down the line.
You agree there were some non-existent projects?
No, there was no one.
Okay.
There was no one.
This one says, when it comes to infrastructure development, President Nana performed far better than President Mahama. Unprecedented roads infrastructure, hospitals, polytechnics, railways, among others. Over 30 hospitals started and completed by President Nana Addo. I challenged my uncle, the NDC communicator, to mention only 2 hospitals started and completed by President Mahama. Okay. Timothy,
you mentioned them. Was he listening to my honorable man this morning?
They were not completed.
Timothy said
the hospital started and completed.
They don't know the hospital. He said one. They don't know the hospital was completed.
There's always a project to be completed.
They don't know the hospital was completed.
Timothy says that to effectively combat the
I can mention more.
One.
You go on.
To effectively combat the scourge of galamsey and illegal mining, I strongly advocate for the declaration of these sites as high security zones. A multi-step approach is necessary to achieve this. Immediate revocation of licenses. All mining licenses issued under the Akufo-Addo NPP administration must be seized and rendered null and void. Confiscation of equipment, all excavators, machinery, and tools used at these illegal mining sites must be confiscated and impounded. Military and police surveillance. The declared security zones must be placed under the constant watchful eye of highly trained military and police personnel, ensuring the sites are secure and impenetrable. Now, by taking these bold, decisive steps, we can protect our environment and natural resources, preserve the health and well-being of our communities, uphold the rule of law, and ensure justice is served. Let us stand against galamsey and illegal mining and safeguard the future of our nation. Timothy Anabila from Bechim sent in that one. He espoused some very, good points that we can use in dealing with this issue. I'm sure that the First Minister and the Interior Minister are all aware of this. Yes. But it doesn't just happen like the way...
These are the things that we've been doing, confiscation of equipment,
yes.
Military police surveillance.
But it takes a lot of other things to be able to put all these things in place. Yeah. I mean, the Defense Minister and the Interior, they can all just wake up one day and say, we are packing all the military people over. But it doesn't just happen like that.
We can't even pack all our military people because we also have the
other places
at other
exactly.
Places,
but Ghanaians believe that we can do so because of the way we are looking at the galamsey issue right now. Maybe literally, that's how they are looking at it. Oh, but we have the men.
The landscape is already crying.
I'm telling you. Anyway, we're going to be looking at the issue of the airport, Kotoka International Airport, which a lot of people believe that it should even be Kwame Nkrumah or someone else. I understand the creative people also spoke about making one of the creatives. In fact, George Quay posted something on social media about making one of the creatives, occupy that position of airports, named after the person. And people went under the post and were saying, what is he talking about? Like, you think that we are joking in this country? And a lot of creatives are very sad. They think that, I don't know about honorables yourselves, if you're creative people and you believe in Nama Tedu and all of those people who have done great works in this country, but some people believe that it has to be only politicians that have to occupy such positions. But that's just by the way. Do we have to still continue to call our airport Kotoka International Airport?
PMG, that's an interesting one. It's a name that has lived with us since ages, since time immemorial. I came to meet the name.
Yeah.
And I feel we as a country don't record our history properly. And I think we need to put up monuments, special monuments, to be able to tell our story. When you go to other countries, almost every milestone or every event that happened in their history, there's a particular monument available that people even visit just to look at it and even pay money. And it improves tourism. I remember Kotoka International Airport had the statue of Kotoka. Then during the expansion project, they removed the statue, and I don't know if it's been relocated or whether it exists.
No, it never came back.
Yes. But it's a name that has lived a long time, and I believe sometimes when you are trying to hide your pain, you rather do damage to yourself. Sometimes you should have your scar so that it reminds you of what you've gone through. I believe the name as it exists now keeps on reminding us what we went through as a nation, because that was the first step towards our coup d'etat or revolution from Kotoka, a FIFA, a champion, and then J.J. Rawlings came, and then eventually during his regime, then all these people, Kotoka and all these people, I think they were sent to the firing squad, and then they were all killed. And all that.
Always a reminder of that. There's always a reminder.
There's always a reminder of the 1966 coup that saw the removal of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. But quite interestingly, during the period, people hailed them people saw Kotoka to be a hero.
Yeah.
Because at a point they felt Nkrumah had become a dictator and the economy was going bad. There was even an instance where I learned that at cabinet meeting, Nkrumah asked his finance minister, and the finance minister told him the amount of money left in our coffers, and he was shocked because it wasn't going to be able to run
the country at the time.
So all these events and historical antecedents are there. And I believe we shouldn't rush to change the name yet, but then we have to find a better way, because if you are changing the name, which name are you bringing? That will also generate another debate.
They want to put Kwame Nkrumah.
Yes, and then
according to democracy,
coming and people now say, no, don't put... Okay, we can't name everything after Kwame Nkrumah. We have Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. We have a lot of things that we've named after Kwame Nkrumah. We have the Kwame Nkrumah Motorway and so on. So I believe that we should rather leave it as it is for now. And then even if we change the name, it should be Ghana International Airport, which will symbolize and create unity amongst the people, rather than naming it after a particular person that will degenerate into something else. We are not good with, in this country, I've realized we are not good with naming things. When President Kufuor built the Jubilee House and changed the old Flagstaff House to the Jubilee House, you know what has happened.
Yeah.
It got to a point, government upon government, we changed the name depending on who is there. I think President John Mahama came, and he decided for once he will let it be the same.
I think that's one of the most ridiculous things that I've actually experienced as a nation, actually. That a simple place of presidency.
Yes.
Name is the problem.
And I can say that if we should change the name today based on how some people feel, because if you look at those who have gone to
Democracy Hub. And the CPP, but of course, the CPP
Democracy Hub is Oliver Vamaho, right?
Group. Even on the 7th of March, they want to organize
if you listen to his comments, he's an Nkrumahist. He's an Nkrumahist, and he associated with some CPP group to go.
Yeah.
And the CPP has come out to
distance themselves from that press release. Yeah.
From that press release. So I believe that as a nation, we should leave it as it is. We shouldn't be in a rush. Some of these things, we just create some unnecessary chaos. And then we come and sit and waste proper time on it and all that, whilst we have other things that we need to discuss, other things that will contribute to the development of this country. At the end of the day, if Kotoka's name is there, anybody who enters will ask, who is Kotoka? And it will bring back history. And people will now dig. And if we erase that name today, it will get to a point people even forget that somebody overthrew Nkrumah. And those who were fighting for the name to be removed, it will get to a point our grandchildren will come and the history will be changed.
Yeah.
And they will even regret removing that name. So I think we should leave it as it is, because it tells a story. It is a scar that is on the nation, and it helps us to remember what happened in 1966.
And I think I agree with you on that. Yes, it may have come with some negative implications depending on how you look at it. But then again, it takes you back into some history that you would want to understand that, okay, this is what Nkrumah went through, you know, so it makes sense. Honorable.
Yeah, I think that change or not to change, it should be a national consensus issue. It should not be a court matter to determine. What is the God going to say about naming the place after it? That's the first thing. You understand? History tells us that even Ghana was not called Ghana.
Yes.
Is that not true?
Yep.
Ghana was called Gold Coast. Beyond Gold Coast, Ghana was also called a different name.
Yeah.
We've changed it up to today. Burkina Faso was sometimes called Upper Volta. Cote d'Ivoire was called what? I think it was called Cote d'Ivoire. Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast.
You can go on. Statues of former dictators across the world has been pulled down. I think recently we had one about Indira Gandhi, the Gandhi at the University of Ghana, where students went and vandalized the statue.
Oh yeah.
And so on. You go across, even in Europe, some statues have been brought down because the people felt that at the current situation, they do not need to keep them to remind them of their sordid or the history that happened, because they are moving forward. If you just oppose this with what the democratic hop people are wanting us to do, what you do is that, like my brother, if you, what is particularly important about Kotoka? Was it the coup? If they ask me, is the coup? Was he the champion of the coup? Did he do it with other people? How come that his name's too? If you listen to the reasons why Kotoka's name has been used as international body, was because the dead body was found there and then mutilated. Some history
that was where he was shot.
That was where he was shot, and it's just not about shooting him, but what they did to the body at the point. You understand? Is there a history that you can tell your children, or you can tell tourists who come in out there and so on? The previous government, I've seen, and not because of them, but because of this change of name, tried to change some names. For instance, the University of Ghana issues came up, and the resistance was heavy. They dropped it, and it didn't add anything. If you look at the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences, then another administration wanted to change it to the J.B. Dankwa Academy of Arts and Sciences. They tried, it did not happen, and so on and so forth. We've changed it. We tried to change, to say that Ghana was not funded by Nkrumah, but by a number of founders and so on. We changed our republic date, it's being brought back and so on. At the end of the day, what does this thing tell? What is the benefit to us? And for me, I think that if we want to change a name like Kotoka International Airport that has gained worldwide, it goes in with a lot of resources. It's not just canceling the name, but you know that people identify that name with Ghana and with our international airport and so on. Must we build a new airport? We try to build one at Pram Pram, and I think because of cash issues, we've not been able to do that and so on. We've seen other airports that were completed, like the Tamale one that has been named about, is it Yakubu Tali or something, for which the people of Tamale, including the Tamale, I think the Yana also said, the chief said that no, they wouldn't want it to be. Is there a tendency that because that was the issue, they will change it again in future? We've seen the Kumasi Airport. I've heard Nana Kumi and other people. And I agree with him because he said if they had left it like the Kumasi International Airport, it's rather, you see the ambience it gives. And so on. The process will go on. But at the end of the day, a major thing like the Kotoka nature, it should be by consensus. Parliament can debate it, but not court. I don't know what the court is going to pronounce, whether to change. If you see the reasons the Democratic people are giving, it just doesn't tally. And I think that the issue has been on. I think they've taken the first step to send it to the Supreme Court, but it has been on and off as to whether we should change it or not, looking at the fact that are we in a case trying to let the names of coup makers be in our history, yet we hate coups, we hate dictatorship, and we are in a democratic dispensation. Must we continue to glorify or to have these things? These are all historical antecedents by which I think that if we need a change, we can really debate it in Parliament to the people and change it, and it will be forever.
Well, they believe that it's unconstitutional, and
there's no constitution about it.
It's basically because of the...
I don't think there's a constitutional issue about it.
Once you decide to change Kotoka, the next thing is you open the floodgates. And then people say, okay,
this one
all
said.
coup makers. Somebody will say, okay, during the Rawlings regime, there was a coup. And it was during Rawlings' period that FIFA, Champon, and all these people were killed. So, and the 89 coup, and is it 81? 81 coup and all that. So, all names that have Rawlings on it should be removed.
Yeah, but you know, Rawlings said that he didn't want his name to be named after anything. But you remember? But it's on anyway.
It's on.
It's on. So he said that, and he has said it severally.
And you see, these monumental places, they remind us. Today, the reason why we name places after people, after years, some of us will be gone. Then our great-great-grandchildren will come. And then these things are going to tell the story of the past. If you go to the United States, there are past presidents, there are those who fought for the civil rights movement, the blacks, the Martin Luther King, and all of them. they've recorded all these things, and there are monuments for each of them. And I believe it doesn't matter what the person did. We should be able to create various monuments at different places, even if it's their hometowns.
Yeah.
So that it will build on our tourism. And I feel the creative arts people, these are the things they should be championing. Not looking for somebody from Creative Art to name after the airport. They should be championing more monuments being put up with plaques on them, giving a brief history. Then we create a very nice ambience and environment where people can visit. When tourists come, they have a lot of places to go. That is how tourists will stay longer and spend more money and be able to listen to our music and enjoy our food and enjoy our culture. Then we will get revenue from tourism and the creative arts sector. But then if we are looking to change, do the same old things, we change name, then another person comes, they don't feel good about the name, they change it, then we'll be just chasing our own tails and going around the bush. So I feel at this moment, this is not what we need as a country.
Speaking of the creative thing, it reminds me of Efra Sutherland Park and what has been done.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, yesterday I passed there. I was sending my son somewhere. So when we got there and I was showing him the Efra Sutherland Park, and he said, "What's happening there?" I said, "There's nothing going on there."
Yeah. But it used to be a place that the children would not have
But the
fun.
point is, you see,
But look at it.
It's sad.
technology is improving and our kids are now getting used to mobile phones and all that. The attractiveness of the park is no more.
Yeah.
Because today, I send my child there, the old wheels and swings that are there and the rail, my child will not be interested.
You'd rather be on the phone with another person who also has a phone and they'll be chatting.
They want to watch Papa Pig on.
It brings a major. It does not only rest with government to do that. Like he has raised a good point about technology and how children react to technology and outdoor games and outdoor pleasures and so, which I think we must inculcate in it. That's why there are some areas they must be reserved, whether technology or not. For instance, children playground, the parks and so on. They are natural areas that what you get from interacting with nature is completely different from what you use technology to do.
That's true.
You understand? So we must ask parents and ask a country, encourage. In fact, when you look at the Western world, they do not have things like this. And when they come here, the atmosphere and the environment is in itself a tourist attraction to them. Even markets are tourist attraction. Look at me. Sometimes I like going to, is it the Agbogbo, those markets? You won't believe it.
Yeah.
You understand? It normally rekindle my relationship with those areas. When we're students, when we come to Accra, we go to the Makola market, we go to shops, we look at. Yes, I still do that. As I said this morning, I still do that. You understand? It makes me to equally walk around because
so
by watching
to the people.
Yes, by watching those things, before you realize you'd have even walked 5 miles without.
You're not even noticing that.
So sometimes. One after here, I just walk past here through the circle and I still.
Anyway.
But yesterday, talking about this, you see, yesterday I was so sad. If you look at the South Commoner area where there's this land, what is the name, the popular name we used to call it? The reserve waterlock area. What do you call it?
The one at the back.
At the back.
The
Ramsey side.
Side.
But that had its own issues.
The development.
I was shocked.
I mean, for the past...
They've even gone to clear.
I think the former Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Kote went there.
Look, if you...
Henry pulled all those things down.
Look,
he came with a lot of fights and all.
They've even cleared the area. It's not nearer the motor, the railway line that passes through. I was shocked.
Warehouses.
Look, it was just nearer there. I stood there for more than 10 minutes. I was so shocked. I said, so who gave the permits? We must, look, you know there's a celebrity golf there. Almost about half of the golf there is now, as I talk to you, being put up by buildings. Wow. My house is just nearer there.
Okay.
I was completely mesmerized. So who gave the permits? Who allowed them to do that? And so there are a lot of questions and answers under how protected lands and natural environments are being taken over by so-called rich and educated people who should know better.
Very well. That'll be all for this morning. Let me read about 2 messages and then we'll go. This one says, those people working as volunteers in the hospital are just wasting their time because they collect bribe from new people and give them the job, Ghana. And so, okay, can you really authenticate this? Because
no, but these things you don't need to. They do happen. Some of these when they
but you just don't say somebody's taking bribe somewhere.
Yeah,
and
but we know.
You know,
you understand. But you cannot really give evidence. Yeah. They would have taken from your brother, your sister, you know. But when the time is coming, they'll give evidence.
Time you should send the evidence to us.
Oh, he's there.
Please kindly play with our NDC honorable to push his volunteer issue. Hey, but that volunteer thing has really...
It's almost all the institutions. But the interesting thing is, even today, a lot of them are sitting on tentacles because
you know
they don't know when they are going home. Because now every day you go to work and people are going home.
Recruitment and anyway, that'll be all for this morning. A very big thank you to my guest this morning, Honorable Timothy Awonchirim joined us this morning here on the show. And also I had Honorable Michael Kwesiedu also joining us as well. He's the MP for Ikrom constituency. Honorable Awonchirim is the former MP for Bulsa North. And a very strong NDC man. He's also another strong NDP man. This matter. We're going to the presidency this afternoon.
Was brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.